coming up, a double murder-suicide in Lakewood Ranch. What deputies say happened leading up to the fatal shootings. Plus, new details into a separate murder-suicide investigation, this one involving a sheriff's deputy. And Florida Health, Environment, and Wildlife officials are here on the Suncoast today. Their plans to combat red tide. Your Suncoast News starts right now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at noon.
Hello and welcome. I'm Erica Jackson. Thank you so much for joining us. Scott Dennis will be in later this afternoon. First at noon, we have some breaking news out of Manatee County. 3 people are dead after a Lakewood Ranch man reportedly shot his wife and stepdaughter before shooting himself. Manatee County Sheriff's deputies say James Bennett's mother heard him and his wife, Sylvana, arguing inside of the home. Then she heard several gunshots. The mother found James and Sylvana Bennett dead in the room. Bennett's stepdaughter, 16-year-old Andrea Barberena Rojas, died from her injuries after EMS arrived. The Manatee County School District confirms the teen attended Lakewood Ranch High School. And another murder-suicide north of Manatee County. The Pasco County Sheriff's Office is investigating after they say a Hillsborough County Sheriff's deputy killed his wife before turning the gun on himself early this morning with children in the home. ABC 7's Marla Spence has the details.
Erica, we're told the murder-suicide happened around midnight at a home in Land O'Lakes. The Pasco County Sheriff's Office says 39-year-old Kirk Keithley, a Hillsborough County Sheriff's deputy, shot and killed his wife, 33-year-old Samantha Keithley, before turning the gun on himself. The Pasco County Sheriff's Office says it does not appear Kirk Keithley used his service weapon in the shootings. The Sheriff's Office says a 14-year-old called 911 while running from the house. That teen told the dispatcher there was an argument and that he heard a shot fired from within the house.
Domestic violence is a horrendous act that goes on in every community. And the moment that any individual goes from protecting people to harming people, loses the right, no matter what agency they're with, to call themselves as a law enforcement officer.
In total, there were 4 kids inside the home, all under age 14. All of them were unharmed and safe when deputies found them. The Sheriff's Office says there were not any previous 911 calls involving Keithley or his wife, and this is an ongoing investigation. Erica?
Marla, thank you. Prosecutors and public defenders met this morning to set a new trial date for John Johnchuk. The 28-year-old was arrested in Manatee County after he allegedly dropped his 5-year-old daughter to her death from a bridge near the Sunshine Skyway back in 2015. Jury selection was scheduled to begin today, but during a pre-trial hearing last week, a judge decided to postpone it. Johnchuk's defense team filed a last-minute motion asking the judge to exclude the testimony of one of the state's expert witnesses. An expert witness and doctor for the state believes he was sane at the time of the incident. On the night of the arrest, deputies say Johnchuk was speeding at roughly 100 miles per hour, approaching the Dick Meisner Bridge when an off-duty police officer pulled the car over. That's when the officer witnessed Johnchuk throw his 5-year-old daughter Phoebe into the water.
The officer went directly to the bridge to see if he could locate the child in the water. The officer called out what he had just seen. He went off the side of the bridge, down a ladder to get to the water to see if he could locate the child.
Johnchuk then got into his car and drove 30 minutes south to Manatee County on I-75 to the University Parkway exit, where there he was arrested. If convicted, Johnchuk could face life in prison. The new trial date is set for March 18th. Right now, environment officials and local scientists are meeting in Sarasota to discuss ways to better tackle red tide. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, Florida Department of Environmental Protection, health officials and researchers with Mote Marine Laboratory are talking about ways to manage the impacts of red tide. The meeting comes just hours after Governor Rick Scott's office announced that the state of Florida will direct $2.1 million to test new technology to mitigate the effects of red tide. Those include specialized clay field experiments and expanding Mote Marine Lab's ozone treatment system. Some good news to report today on the red tide situation. Late this morning, the group Save Our Seabirds released migratory birds that have recovered from being sick from red tide. 5 sanderlings and 2 ruddy turnstones were released on North Lido Beach. A spokesperson for the group says the birds got sick while passing through our area on their way to Central America. For the past 10 days, the birds received intensive care, including tube feeding and fluids multiple times a day to purge their systems. Another group of birds will be released on Thursday. And remember, you can find all of our Red Tide coverage, including answers to your most asked questions, online at mysuncoast.com. Just click on the Red Tide tab, and we have John Scalzi here. And we've seen a lot of headlines regarding red tide over the last couple of weeks. And
months.
Yeah, I even saw someone
saw
a large tarpon wash up the other day on Bird Key. So it just is ongoing.
Like
gets better, gets worse. Yeah.
We've got gators, we've got we've got whales, we've got dolphins. It's an emergency situation for dolphins. Yeah, manatees. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. And it continues on today. You know, we had some good news earlier on in the morning show where, it looked like some of the reports indicated maybe a little bit better condition. Well,
better and worse.
Yeah, now those latest reports have come in. I'll have them for you right after the break that show maybe not as good as, we had hoped. So. We're looking at the Tampa Bay webcam, or excuse me, the Sarasota Bay webcam put into motion, and you can see off in the distance. Look at that. Well, isn't that a beautiful shot of that one thunderstorm beginning to build out there? You can almost begin to make out a little bit of an anvil from that system. It's far away from shore. You can see that on the visible satellite imagery, bubbling and building out there in the Gulf, but no issues for us. It stays far away from land. We don't have a whole lot in the way of rainfall around here right now, but you can already see some of the showers, as we have in the previous days. See those showers building in the eastern coast and gradually drifting in this direction. They'll be arriving on the Sun Coast a little bit later on today. Temperatures warm already in the mid to upper 80s most everywhere, and it'll get warmer still. We'll talk about the rest of today's forecast and the week ahead in just a few minutes.
All right, John, thank you. We'll check back in soon. Judge Brett Kavanaugh's nomination to the Supreme Court taking another potential hit overnight. A second woman is now accusing Kavanaugh of engaging in sexual misconduct, alleging he drunkenly exposed himself at a party while they were both students at Yale. ABC's Janae Norman breaks down the latest claim and the response in Washington.
The man hoping to become the next Supreme Court justice now facing new sexual misconduct accusations. A second woman, Deborah Ramirez, Judge Brett Kavanaugh's Yale classmate, is accusing the embattled judge of sexual misconduct. The New Yorker reporting she remembers Kavanaugh had exposed himself at a drunken dormitory party. Despite the new allegation, the president is standing by his nominee.
There's a chance that this could be one of the single most unfair, unjust things to happen to a candidate for anything, but I am with Judge Kavanaugh, and I look forward to a vote.
Kavanaugh denies the claim, saying, quote, "This alleged event from 35 years ago did not happen. The people who knew me then know that this did not happen and have said so. This is a smear, plain and simple." But Ronan Farrow, who co-wrote the story, says it's not accurate that those who knew Kavanaugh at the time dispute the claim.
We talked to a roommate from the time that was living with him when this alleged incident took place, who said he was indeed frequently drunk, that he took part in activity that made him unsurprised by this claim, and that he found this woman credible.
This all comes days before Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, the first woman to lodge sexual misconduct allegations against Kavanaugh, is set to testify on Capitol Hill in late July, detailing the alleged incident in a letter to Senator Dianne Feinstein, writing, "Kavanaugh was on top of me. Kavanaugh tried to disrobe me. With Kavanaugh's hand over my mouth, I feared he may inadvertently kill me." Kavanaugh has denied both accusations, and now at least one Democrat is calling for both allegations to be referred to the FBI for investigation. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
And men and women across the Sun Coast took a stand over the weekend in response to the allegations against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. A crowd gathered at the Sarasota County Courthouse with blue tape over their mouths and the hashtag #MeToo prominently displayed. They say they're standing with Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, sharing their own stories of assault.
Was a molester. He did molest many girls. Unfortunately, those girls did tell, and nothing happened. And I see that happening today, where Dr. Ford is telling what happened, and instead of being an investigation, nothing is happening. So I support Dr. Ford, and I'm really concerned about the young women of America.
That's me. But it also energizes me that the more that we tell our stories, the more that we organize and stick together, the closer we'll get to solving the problem.
The hashtag #MeToo first went viral on social media last October to try and bring attention to the widespread prevalence of sexual assault and harassment, especially in the workplace. For the latest news on those allegations, as well as breaking news and your first alert weather forecast, just download our app. You can find it under WWSB or My Suncoast. And ABC7's business commentator Richard Stern joins us now in the studio, and you were saying there's down arrows to start off this week.
Erica, I'd love to tell you otherwise, but in fact it's been selling all morning, and we'll see where the rest of the day goes, but it's certainly been a down morning. Yes, it's been a down morning, and guess what? We only have 1 week left in September. This is the last week of the month, and going into the last week of the month, so far this month, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, the S&P and the Dow are both higher, while the NASDAQ, which has been leading the market all year, believe it or not, month to date shows negative numbers. Speaking of negative, the Dow is down by 172 points at the low so far today. Let's take a look at where we stand right now. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down by 150 points. That's a loss of almost 0.6%, closing at 26,593.97. That on volume of 441 million shares. The NASDAQ right now is down 9.72 at 7,977.14, a loss of just over 0.1%. That on volume of 816 million shares. And the S&P makes it a clean sweep for the down arrows, down 0.3%, just over 10 points at 2,919.16. Well, a huge deal was announced this morning in the world of entertainment. Yes, indeed. Pandora. Now, Pandora is a music streaming company, not the jewelry company, so we don't get confused there. Pandora is being purchased by SiriusXM for a $3.5 billion in stock. Assuming the deal goes through, it's expected to close in January. SiriusXM would then become the largest audio entertainment company in the world with $7 billion in revenue. Sirius has 36 million subscribers. Pandora has 70 million subscribers. So you put these two companies together, Erica, and boy, oh boy, do you have a powerhouse when it comes to audio streaming and the audio world.
I know. It seems like it. When I saw that deal earlier, I was pretty surprised myself. And you'll be back at 5 o'clock. What are we going to talk about then?
Well, we'll talk about where we finished in the market at 4 o'clock. How's that?
All right. Sounds great. Thank you, Richard.
You're very welcome.
A well-known and much beloved community figure in Manatee County has passed away. Dave Bristow died last night of natural causes. No further details are available at this time. For years, Bristow served as the public information officer for the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. Before that, he worked for ABC7 as an anchor and reporter. He was also the voice of Manatee Hurricane football. There's no word at this time on a memorial service, but we will update you as more information becomes available. From all of us here at ABC7, we would like to extend our thoughts and prayers to his family and to the Sheriff's Office. We'll have more after the break.
The ABC7 Stock Report is sponsored by Sunset Cadillac.
We believe in patriotism. We believe in our nation's youth. We believe veterans earn their benefits through their service to our nation. We believe in a strong national security. We believe in our country. For 100 years, veterans have been impacting our nation through the American Legion, and we believe it makes a difference. If you believe, learn more at legion.org/webelieve.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru vehicles hold their value better than any other brand for 2018, according to ALG. And Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Outback is an IIHS top safety pick for 10 years running. Lease a new Subaru Outback today for just $249 a month, or get 0% financing with 0 down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
What do you get when you cross your tired, aching back with this fragile egg? The Egg Sitter Cushion, an amazing new flex cushion that supports your backside and spine so well you can sit on an egg without breaking it. Incredible!
You want me to sit on this egg? Okay. Can't believe I'm doing this. I don't even feel it. It didn't even break? Oh, I was wondering about that. Now that's a good cushion.
The honeycomb design is constructed of Elasticor that absorbs pressure points by collapsing in on itself. That's why even this egg won't break under direct pressure. Now long days at the office will be more comfortable, dinner more enjoyable, and painful car rides a thing of the past. Get your Egg Sitter Support Cushion for just $39.99. It comes with a free non-slip washable cover and our 10-year comfort guarantee. But wait, call right now and you can get a second cushion. Just pay separate fee. Call now.
Call 1-800-232-1564. That's 1-800-232-1564. Call now or go to eggsitter.com. Order now.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Looking at an air temperature that's steadily climbing thanks to a lot of sunshine out there, 87 degrees already. Dew point value 75, so it's still a very sticky dew point, making it feel humid out there with a 67% relative humidity. Southeast wind will be turning west in a couple of hours here as we develop that sea breeze. The sea breeze is going to be kept pretty close to the coast. The winds are fairly brisk now, southeast at about 10. 96 is our feels like temperature if you're walking out the door. We're well on the way to having a feels like temperature close to 100. 91 I'll go with by around 3 p.m. Might even be a little higher than that, as I think the showers will be delayed. The onset of the showers delayed until the evening near the coastline, which is where the recording station is for the temperatures. So we might hit 93 for a daytime high today. 40% chance of showers at 3 p.m. That's inland. They start inland, Hardee and DeSoto counties, and then they gradually drift closer to the coast. I think it'll probably be around 7 p.m. that we see them get pretty close to the coast, moving out into Gulf waters and dissipating, leaving us with a pretty quiet overnight under partly cloudy skies. You can see a few of the showers trying to make their way through Highlands County now on an approach to Hardee and DeSoto counties and inland Charlotte counties as well. Those first showers that we see coming into the picture around 2, 3 o'clock are going to be light showers for the most part. It's really by the time that they get close to our coastline, to I-75, that they are going to explode as they meet our sea breeze front, and that kind of collision of winds, westerly sea breeze front, easterly general flow across the state, collide together and give us our bigger storms. So here's the latest red tide status as we see shifting winds today becoming more westerly. A few spots may have a little bit more of a problem with the red tide irritant as it's pushed a bit further inland by the brief sea breeze. So this morning, Holmes Beach was reporting some slight amounts of irritant in the air. The latest report coming in around 10 o'clock showed no irritants in the air, but you go a little further down the coastline and Coquina is showing moderate amounts. And in fact, many of the beaches now down to the south have gone up from having low amounts of irritant in the air, according to the spotters that go out there and sniff around. They are now seeing some moderate amounts. So again, just another indication that things can change very rapidly near the beach. As always, best to check it out, see what the latest results are. A general easterly wind flow around an area of high pressure to our north provides us with this flow that takes those showers from the other coast, sends them in this direction, where they explode as they hit our sea breeze front, move out into Gulf waters as thunderstorms. Nothing changes in that scenario. Again today, light east wind turns west. Inland storms will be west movers moving out into the Gulf waters, and it'll be warm all week under the influence of that high pressure ridge and a lot of sunshine. We're looking at 3 areas of disturbed weather out in the Atlantic, nothing in the Gulf, nothing in the Caribbean, none of them impacting the state of Florida. We'll detail all of them. Some of them actually may be a bother to the Carolina coast. We'll talk about that in the next half hour. Southeast wind shifting to the west at about 10 knots, and the forecast shapes up like this. Today, about a 40% chance of rain with 92 the high, 30% tomorrow. Same thing the day after and the day after that. By the time we get to Friday, though, we might just kind of trim down the rain chances a little bit as we get some drier air in here, and that may last through the weekend. Back to you.
John, thank you. In this hour's Health Smart, a new report shows obesity is set to overtake smoking as the leading preventable cause of cancer in women. The study done in the UK estimates 23,000 British women will suffer from obesity-related cancers by the year 2035. Researchers found that obesity will become the most common cause of cancer in women by 2043. While the new study focuses on women, experts say men are at risk too. Weight Watchers really wants to reform its image and not just another diet company. So it's changing its name to WW. The global wellness company says the new name focuses on overall health and wellness. WW will also host a variety of new programs, including one called Wellness Wins, hence maybe the WW. Members will be able to use their Amazon Alexa or Google Assistant to track their foods and get updates on their daily progress. All right, now it is time for lunch. Let's check in at the kitchen, where Chef Eddie joins us now from Apollonia Grill in Bradenton. Welcome back, Eddie. What is on the menu today?
Hello, thanks for having me. So today we'll be doing a stuffed eggplant with spinach and feta.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
If you don't want to fall immediately into love, look away. If you don't want to awaken a desire for excellence, look away. If you don't want to be seduced, please look away.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
The Players Center presents the wild Broadway season opener, Annie, Get Your Gun. There's no business like show business. This slice of magical American musical theater will thrill you with the classic tunes of Irving Berlin. Call the Players Center at 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. Annie, Get Your Gun, September 18th through October 7th. Let's go on with the show.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real.
You can recover.
It's possible. It happens every day.
Never give up on yourself.
Discover hope and help.
The world is a beautiful place again.
Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP.
Find out first at 4 with ABC 7 News at 4. Weekdays on ABC 7.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
A shark attack is not quite the vacation story you want to take home with you. A Massachusetts woman was fishing in the Bahamas when a black-tipped shark clamped down on her left hand. Her injuries were so severe she had to be airlifted to a hospital in Fort Lauderdale. The woman had just speared a hogfish underwater and was swimming back to the surface when the shark attacked, shredding some of her fingers.
A lot of people don't realize when you're spearfishing grouper, hogfish, they give off a sound when they are injured. And that sound is like ringing the dinner bell for the sharks.
Her injuries are too gruesome to show on TV, but this afternoon, doctors are doing all they can to save the woman's hand. New at noon today, I-95 has reopened through North Carolina after the devastation and flooding from Hurricane Florence. Governor Roy Cooper announced last night that I-95 is now open to all traffic. Floodwaters covered the highway after Florence inundated the state with heavy rains. The governor says the floodwater has receded quicker than expected. The state's Department of Transportation has completed inspections and repairs needed to reopen the road. Time now to head back on over to the kitchen and check in with John, who's with Chef Eddie from Apollonia Grill in Bradenton. John?
Always love having Eddie in the kitchen. Always cooks up something tasty and nice and delicious. And just between you and me, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, too.
Oh, thank you very much. You're too nice. All right, so today we'll do an eggplant rollatini. This dish has been on our menu for, forever, as well as in our family recipe. So it's pretty healthy. Generally, like we at the restaurant, we try to be as healthy as we can. So anywhere there's frying, we can roast it or bake it, that would be better. In this case, this recipe calls for frying the eggplant, but we're gonna roast it, so it's a little bit healthier.
Great, okay.
So we're gonna start with this stuffing first. There's a few steps to this dish. So we're gonna do the filling. We started off with some white onions, some garlic, and you wanna just kind of sear that so it doesn't brown up, but just the onion turns translucent. We're going to add the spinach to it. I'm going to kind of speed up the process here a little bit.
Okay.
We're going to add the spinach to it, about 4 to 5 cups, tightly packed, and you're going to cook that down till the spinach is all wilted and it sort of collapses on itself. So once you create that, then you're going to add some fresh parsley to it. Just for that freshness of the parsley, what it offers. A little bit of fresh dill as well, too. And then once that gets cooked down, you want to take it off and let it cool. Once it gets cool, then you're going to add the feta cheese to it, and then you're going to add 1 egg to it. That egg is going to bind it and just sort of make it nicely well put together.
Okay, I've got one that's already done over here.
I have one that's already done here.
There you go.
So we can turn that off. And then we're going to start with the eggplant. Actually, we'll do this. So the eggplant, medium size, large size, doesn't matter. I prefer the medium size because the seeds inside are smaller.
Oh, okay.
And, the larger ones, the seeds can be a little bitter sometimes. So we're using a mandolin to slice this. You want to make sure that you get a good base on this mandolin so that way you don't slice your hands.
Yeah, I tell you, I have one of those at home, and I'm scared to use it if I don't use gloves because that can do some damage if you're not careful.
For sure. So we're going to do about 4 slices. So this is a recipe for 2 people, and you can find the recipe online. Set this aside. And then in a pan, I'm just going to lay these eggplant, drizzle them with olive oil, a little bit of salt, and a little bit of pepper. And then we're just going to roast them in the oven. So just like that. Season them on both sides. A little salt, a little pepper, and that's about it.
And how high do you have to put the oven to roast?
400 degrees.
So
about,
hot oven.
Yeah, hot oven. Yeah. About 8 to 10 minutes, or until they're soft and they're tender. You don't want to overcook them because they can fall apart.
Okay.
So we'll put this in the oven, and
through the magic of TV, ba-boom,
should come out like this.
Gorgeous.
So you don't want to put too much olive oil because, like mushrooms, eggplant will absorb a lot of that oil.
Okay.
And then once they're cooked, they'll let that oil go back, and you get this really greasy dish. And you don't want a greasy dish. You want it to be relatively healthy here. So our stuffing that we did with spinach, feta, and egg, it's cool. And then we're going to stuff the eggplant, or we're going to do rolls or rollatini in this case, right? So eggplant rollatini. Here we go. So I'm going to make 2 of these. Just kind of roll it.
The Greek tradition is frequently stuffing eggplant, aren't they?
Yeah, for sure. Eggplant are pretty popular in the menus, especially during their season.
Probably why you all live to be 100 over there.
Yeah, that's very true. And then we got some marinara sauce, our own marinara sauce at Apollonia. You can buy pre-made stuff. It's good stuff on the store as well, too.
And so you add that and you put it in the oven and bake it up?
That's right.
And while you do that and get out the final product, I'll remind everybody that the recipe for this is on our website, mysuncoast.com. Just click on the dining link page and it will take you right there with all of the video instructions. And voila! Out it comes, the final product, looking awful darn good there, Eddie.
Thank you.
You topped it with a cheese, too, apparently,
We topped it up with some mozzarella cheese and some feta cheese.
Man, that looks good. Apollonia Grill, Chef Eddie. Thank you so much, Eddie. Looks great.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do it yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Kettle's got it. Kettle's got it.
Kettle's got what you're looking for at Kettle.com. 17 new car brands, over 1,000 used vehicles, prices and payments you can afford. Credit help if you need it, and they pay cash for your old car. Plus, Kettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Need service? Kettle's got that too.
Kettle's got it.
Visit Kettle.com.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
You want a Maserati, but you need an SUV. Why not have both? Levante, the Maserati of SUVs.
Experience it at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
According to a new survey by U.S. News and World Report, 3 of Alabama's top 4 hotels and resorts are part of the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail Resort Collection. The Grand Hotel Marriott Resort in Point Clear, the Battle House Renaissance Mobile Hotel and Spa, and the Renaissance Birmingham Ross Bridge Golf Resort and Spa. Hey, we didn't invent Southern hospitality, we just offer more of it. Visit rtjgolf.com/resorts to find out more.
Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7, weekdays starting at 5.
Coming up this half hour, a double murder-suicide in Lakewood Ranch. What deputies say happened leading up to the fatal shootings. Plus, new details into a separate murder-suicide investigation, this one involving a sheriff's deputy. And Manatee County Sheriff's Office is holding an active shooter training this week. Your Suncoast News continues now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 12:30.
Welcome back. We have some breaking news out of Manatee County. 3 people are dead after a Lakewood Ranch man reportedly shot his wife and stepdaughter before shooting himself. Manatee County Sheriff's deputies say James Bennett's mother heard him and his wife, Sylvana, arguing inside of the home. Then she heard several gunshots. The mother found James and Sylvana Bennett dead in the room. Bennett's stepdaughter, 16-year-old Andrea Barbena Rojas, died from her injuries after EMS arrived. The Manatee County School District confirms the teen attended Lakewood Ranch High School. And now to another murder-suicide north of Manatee County. The Pasco County Sheriff's Office is investigating after they say a Hillsborough County deputy killed his wife before turning the gun on himself early this morning with children in the home. The Pasco County Sheriff's Office says 39-year-old Kirk Keithley shot and killed his wife, 33-year-old Samantha Keithley, before turning the gun on himself. The Pasco County Sheriff's Office says it does not appear Kirk Keithley used his service weapon in the shootings. The Sheriff's Office said a 14-year-old called 911 while running from the house. That teen told the dispatcher there was an argument and that he heard a shot fired from within that house. The Sheriff's Office says there were not any previous 911 calls involving Keithley or his wife. This investigation is ongoing. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office is planning to host a response to active shooter training seminar tomorrow. The training will be held from 2 to 4 p.m. The goal of the free event is to help businesses and organizations prepare for an active shooter situation, understand the mentality of an active shooter, and learn how to best respond. Happening today, the sentencing hearing begins for Bill Cosby. Back in April, the comedian once known as America's Dad became the first celebrity convicted of sexual assault in the Me Too era. ABC's Elizabeth Herr is in Norristown, Pennsylvania with the latest.
Bill Cosby back in court in Pennsylvania facing possibly years behind bars. The former comedian found guilty in April of 3 felony counts of aggravated indecent assault for drugging and sexually assaulting Andrea Constand in his home in 2004.
Each of the charges carries a 10-year maximum sentence.
Cosby will not speak in the sentencing hearing, nor will anyone testify on his behalf. Cosby's first trial ended in a hung jury, but a retrial resulted in that guilty verdict. One of the 12 jurors who convicted Cosby explaining which key evidence led to his downfall.
I think it was his deposition, really. Ms. Cosby admitted to giving these quaaludes to women, young women.
More than 60 other women accused Cosby of sexual misconduct, including Chaylin Lasha, who now contend Cosby must pay for his crime.
I pray it's 30 years. He deserves it every year. We all suffered a lot, and we've stood up for many women, and he needs every single year.
Cosby has always maintained any sexual encounters with Constand and other women were consensual, and now he could be sentenced to up to 30 years in prison or sent home on probation. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, Norristown, Pennsylvania.
For the latest on today's sentencing, as well as breaking news and your first alert weather forecast, just download our app. You can find it in your app store under WWSB or My Suncoast. And so, John, it is officially fall. So where's the cold weather?
I know, right? Well, actually, usually you get your first 60-degree or lower low time night temperature in the middle of next month. So
okay, so we still have some time.
A couple of weeks to go before we normally
Florida.
would find a cool night. So yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Last year we had to wait till almost November before we got one. So we'll see how it goes this year. We're on track to having one of the warmest months ever. So I wouldn't be surprised if we had to wait a little bit longer for some cooler weather. Certainly not going to find it today, that's for sure. Lakewood Ranch webcam put into motion shows few fair weather clouds building, but no rainfall yet. We're going to have to wait a couple hours before we see the rain showers. We can see the showers out in Gulf waters, though, and we can see a few of those cellular clouds beginning to build in inland areas and generally drift in this direction thanks to that easterly wind. You can see the radar echoes of those showers underneath those clouds gradually drifting in this direction as well. So it's a pretty good bet there'll be a few showers around later in the day. Temperatures are generally holding in the upper 80s most everywhere, on their way to low 90s for a daytime high. We'll call it about 92. I'll say 91 by around 3 p.m. Chance of rainfall 40% inland first. Hardy, DeSoto, inland, Charlotte. Then 40% nearer the coastline as we head into the evening hours, and those showers encounter our sea breeze front, which will be pretty close to the coast. We'll talk all about the forecast in just a few. Erica?
John, thank you. Major developments in the nomination of Supreme Court nominee Judge Brett Kavanaugh. A second person is now accusing him of sexual misconduct. Meanwhile, the Senate Judiciary Committee has set a date to hear from Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, who has accused Kavanaugh of sexual assault in the 1980s. The latest accusation comes from Deborah Ramirez, a former Yale University classmate of Kavanaugh. She says he exposed himself to her at a dorm party 35 years ago.
When someone steps forward and accuses another person of this kind of sexual assault, it needs to be taken seriously.
The White House says it, quote, stands firmly behind Judge Kavanaugh, who denies both accusations, calling it a smear, plain and simple. Ford is expected to testify this Thursday. Happening today, South Korean President Moon Jae is attending a summit with President Trump in New York. This meeting is partly to arrange a second U.S.-North Korea summit. Moon will deliver a keynote speech at a UN meeting on Wednesday. Moon is also scheduled to hold bilateral summit with Chile and Spain before heading home on Wednesday. Tomorrow is National Voter Registration Day, and Sarasota County wants to make sure you're ready for the general elections. The Sarasota County Supervisor of Elections Office has scheduled a number of voter drives in the county. General elections will be held on November 6th. To find out where you can register to vote tomorrow, visit our website at mysuncoast.com. The following voter registration drives are scheduled for Tuesday, September 25th at the Selby Public Library, 1331 First Street in Sarasota from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. New College Conference Center at 5845 in General Dower Place in Sarasota. That's from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. The Englewood Sports Complex in Englewood on River Road. The Northport Library on Tamiami Trail. That's from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. The Shannon Stout Library in Northport, that's on. And then on Wednesday, September 26th, the Northport Area Chamber of Commerce Candidate Forum, the VFW Post 8203 in Northport, that's from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. And we will check in on all of those tomorrow. Still to come on your Suncoast News, while you may soon start paying more for your favorite electronics and entertainment, we'll tell you why when we come back.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Stop in and save big on new Ram trucks during Ram Power Days at Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota. The Ram 1500 has been named a Consumer Guide Best Buy for 6 years running. Get an all-new 2019 Ram Quad Cab for as little as $24,999. Or save big and get up to $14,328 off a new Ram Bighorn Crew Cab. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota.
Call to see if you qualify to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan right now. At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable monthly plan premium, and in some areas, no plan premium. It's all described in this free book. Call for yours and discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. There is no obligation and the book is free. Call or go online right now.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real.
You can recover.
It's possible. It happens every day.
Never give up on yourself.
Discover hope and help.
The world is a beautiful place again.
Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
87 degrees the air temperature. We have a dew point value of 75 and a feels like heat index of 96 degrees. So we are looking at a warm, steamy afternoon, no doubt about that. But that southeast wind is going to turn a little bit more westerly. That'll hold the temperature down probably to about 92 or 3 as a daytime high. 91 will call it by 3 p.m. with a 40% chance of an inland shower. That inland shower moves to the coast as we head into 7 p.m. and then dissipates as all the showers move out into the Gulf waters and fall apart. Right now we're seeing a few showers beginning to build. The east coast sea breeze kind of reinforced with a general easterly wind, pushing it all the way across into our neck of the woods before it meets up with our west coast sea breeze. The two collide and bigger storms build probably along the I-75 corridor. We're watching those showers kind of march their way through into Highlands County. Hardy and DeSoto will be next. So there's a couple of areas of disturbed weather, got pretty active over the weekend, and many things grew pretty quickly. Some things fell apart, and right now we're watching really only one system. We've got three that we are continuing to kind of watch. One is Kirk, which has fallen apart. The other, Leslie, is a system that is going to be moving away from us. And disturbance number one is the one we're going to watch because computer models suggest that it'll kind of get pretty close to the United States, although the chances for it developing into anything significant in terms of a windstorm are pretty low, but it still could pack a punch in terms of coastal rainfalls, could get up to a couple inches of coastal rainfall. All of the computer models are pretty much into agreement that it's going to move up toward the Carolina coastline and then recurve back out into open waters. The question is just how far and how close it gets. Some computer models keep it farther out. Some computer models really just kind of skirt right along the coastline. A little too early to tell that yet, but in any event, it's not going to be a windstorm. You're not looking at major surf from this. It certainly would be hard-pressed to even develop into a named storm, but if it did, it would be called Michael. What it will do is provide more much unwelcome showers for the coastal region, maybe another inch or two of rainfall over other areas that are just starting to flood. So that's not a good thing. We're looking at the beach and boating forecast, calling for a southeast wind switching to the west at about 10 knots. And the forecast for the next couple of days continues to show about a 91, 92 degree daytime high right straight through actually the extended range period. But by the time we get to the weekend, perhaps slightly drier. Back to you.
John, thank you. Silicon Valley woke up this morning to higher prices after President Trump's $200 billion tariff list. CNN's Samuel Burke explains how consumers and companies like Netflix, Amazon, and Google have become trapped in the trade war.
Tim Cook's touch. Thank you. The Apple CEO's lobbying the Trump administration saved the iPhone from the latest round of Trump tariffs. Also spared wearables and other smart devices brought to the U.S. from China.
Well, we were trying to do things that would be the least intrusive on the consumer.
The latest round of tariffs on $200 billion worth of goods is hitting other parts of Silicon Valley hard.
It's time to take a stand on China. We have no choice. You know, it's been a long time. They've been hurting us.
The new levies target the Chinese hardware fueling the tech sector. Everything from semiconductors to electronic circuits.
There are certain kinds of machines that you and I never come into contact with, but that underpin a lot of the high-tech products that people buy.
They're the key components that make computers, household appliances, and home security systems hum. Even your favorite Netflix series could be hit. The streaming company's videos are played from Amazon's cloud servers. That equipment comes from China. Apple may not be in the clear for long. The president has said he's ready to tax almost all Chinese imports, calling out Apple directly in a tweet and claiming there's an easy solution. Make your products in the United States instead of China. Start building new plants now. Exciting. The administration says the tariffs are meant to pressure China to fall in line. Experts say a levy on the iPhone would be counterproductive. Even though the device is assembled in China, it's designed and manufactured in the U.S.
90% of that tariff falls on value created by Americans. There's no other way to say it than to say that literally the United States is taxing itself.
And Apple may have the most to lose if China retaliates with tariffs of its own. 21% of the company's sales are in China, leaving a clear target on America's most valuable company. Samuel Burke, CNN, London.
Congress is defending your personal space on airplanes. It hasn't passed yet, but both parties created a bill which would stop airlines from continuously shrinking the seats. And it's not just the seat itself, but your personal space too. You've probably noticed the row in front of you seems to be inching closer and closer. Also in the bill, no more forcibly removing people from planes. The bill is expected to pass the House and Senate this week and then go to the president's desk. In First Alert traffic, crews will be doing some work on a Sarasota street during the overnight hours. Drivers may notice intermittent lane closures on Pine Street between State Road 776 to the Sarasota County line starting tonight through October 5th. Crews will be resurfacing the road. Traffic may move a little bit slower in that area, and drivers may be directed to take a detour. Still to come here on your Suncoast News, the something blue Meghan Markle chose in her wedding to Prince Harry.
Hello, Mom.
Amanda's mom's appointment just got rescheduled for today. Amanda needs Right at Home. Our customized care plan provides as much or as little help as her mom requires, whether it's a ride to the doctor or help around the house.
Oh, of course. Tom, I am really sorry. I've got to go.
Look, call Right at Home. Get the right care right at home.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Kettle's got it. Kettle's got it.
Kettle's got what you're looking for at Kettle.com. 17 new car brands, over 1,000 used vehicles, prices and payments you can afford. Credit help if you need it, and they pay cash for your old car. Plus, Kettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Need service? Kettle's got that too.
Kettle's got it.
Visit Kettle.com.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
At Boys and Girls Clubs, it's not just about trying new things.
Tanya, come here.
Learning the right steps.
2, 3, 4.
Or making contact. It's not just about exploring the future. It's about helping them build it. It's about making a connection. It's about proving every kid and teen who enters our doors has what it takes. Great futures start here.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to mysuncoast.com/dining.
Welcome back. Coming up on ABC 7 News at 4, a meeting with local officials and scientists is underway right now. We'll have more on their efforts to manage the impacts of red tide. Plus, we'll bring you the very latest on that murder-suicide that left a Lakewood Ranch high schooler dead. We'll hope you join us later this afternoon for ABC 7 News at 4. In entertainment news, a look at this weekend's box office numbers, the final curtain call for Paul Simon, and The Deuce has been renewed for its third and final season. ABC's Christopher Watson has a look at what's happening in Hollywood.
Here we are.
Home sweet home.
Early tracking had it earning maybe $20 million, but the family-friendly thriller The House with a Clock at its Walls opened with a solid $28.5 million. But the news not so good for the rest of the debuts. Michael Moore's Fahrenheit 11.9 fared best, $3.1 million for an 8th place bow. The drama Life Itself and the dark comedy Assassination Nation both opened out of the top 10.
Who wouldn't vote for Tom Hanks? Why not?
Michael Moore thinks Tom Hanks should run for president. The filmmaker tells ABC's Peter Travers he thinks Hanks is likable enough to win the White House. Paul Simon played the final show of his farewell tour Saturday night in Queens, New York. The 76-year-old will keep recording, however.
It's changed. It's not like how it was.
HBO has renewed The Deuce for a 3rd and final season. Season 2 began about a week ago. And The Incredibles writer-director Brad Bird is 61 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Christopher Watson, ABC News.
Some of Aretha Franklin's most prized possessions are now on display. The Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History in Detroit is opening the Think exhibit tomorrow through January 21st. Among the items on display are the first record Franklin cut in Detroit and the red shoes that she wore during one of the viewings. Franklin's family members say they will watch the public's response to the exhibit to see if one day it would be feasible to open an Aretha Franklin museum. And take a look at this. Tiger Woods won the 2018 Tour Championship for his first victory in more than 5 years. Woods competed at the East Lake Golf Club in Atlanta, Georgia. He started with a 3-shot lead and finished 2 shots ahead. Woods' last win was in August 2013. 4 back surgeries since spring of 2014 limited him to 12 tour starts from 2015 to 2017. Now, every bride has something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. And now we know Meghan Markle's blue. Meghan had a piece of the dress she wore on her first date with Prince Harry sewn into her wedding gown. She shows a clip of it in the new HBO documentary, Queen of the World, that debuts next week. Super cute.
Well, that's pretty sweet.
Right? Even the royals, they can do cute things as well, right? They can follow traditions.
Nice working with you today.
You too. Thanks, John. We'll see you at 4.